Hello, it's time for level 2 systems. So, there's a couple methods we have for solving system. We got substitution and elimination. We were just looking at substitution with level 1 stuff. It's still substitution on level 2 though. But it's more complicated because y has more parts to it. So, the way substitution works is you take what y is equal to and you put it in the y of the other equation. You completely replace it. So I'm going to rewrite my first equation here, and I'm just completely replacing the y with parenthesis 2x minus 2 equals 23. So the whole first equation gets rewritten, but where you see a y, you're going to put parenthesis whatever y is equal to. And the benefit of that is now my equation only has one kind of variable. These are both x's, which means it'll have one solution. Previously, this had infinitely many solutions because x could be one number and y could be a different number. But now we only have one kind of equation, one kind of variable, so you'll get an answer. So we're going to simplify this now. We got 5x. This negative 7 is going to distribute to both of those because that's how the parentheses works. Negative 7 times positive 2x is negative 14x. And negative 7 times negative 2 is positive 14. And the right side is still 23. Let's combine some like terms here. We get negative 9x. This comes down. It's still plus 14 equals 23. Let's subtract that 14. And now we got negative 9x equals... Oh, that's 9. And let's divide both sides by negative 9. Negative 9. And now we got x is negative 1. Remember, positive divided by negative is negative. So negative 9. So we got negative 1. Awesome. Once you get your x value, you need to find your y value. Because to solve a system, you need to find the x-y pair, or the two numbers, that work in both equations. So we need to find the y value now. So we can take this x value, and we can put it into either equation, top or bottom. But this bottom one is definitely a lot easier to deal with because it already says y equals stuff. So if we replace the x, once again, put it in parentheses, with the x value of negative 1, and finish simplifying the right side, we will get our y value. So we got 2 times negative 1, that's negative 2. And then it still had subtract 2 on it. That's a bad looking 2. I'm going to rewrite that. Still a z. Okay, we're now going to combine these. Negative 2 minus 2 equals negative 4. So I got y equals negative 4. Now we have our two numbers. We can put them together to make the point. X goes first, y goes second, and voila, you got an answer. Let's try another one. So we're going to take this entire piece and substitute it into the y spot. So I'm going to rewrite my second equation, and where I see my y, I'm going to put parenthesis, and then what y is equal to, negative 2x plus 15. And it equals 20. Now I'm going to simplify my left side and finish solving for x. So I got negative 2x plus, I'm going to skip that. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And then the x goes on still. And then 4 times 15, oh gosh, that is, wait, is that? Sheesh. Oh, that's 60. Ugh. I'm trying to do things in my head. I should use a calculator. That'd be smart. All right, now we're going to combine like terms here. We got negative 10x, and the 60 doesn't have anything to combine with. But we need to get x by itself, so let's subtract off that 60. And we got negative 10x equals negative 40. And let's divide by that negative 10. Divide by negative 10. And we got x equals 4. Hooray! We got our x value. So now we need to take this and we can put it in either equation. We can put it there or we can put it there. It's definitely going to be a lot easier to plug it in the top one because it already says y equals everything else. So you just have to plug in the 4 for x and simplify. So I got y is negative 2 times 4, which is negative 8. Add on 15. Negative 8 plus 15 is 7. Hooray! I got my y value, I got my x value, so I can put them together and write out my point. So it's going to be 4, 7. Hooray! Let's jump to the next ones. So these ones it says to solve by elimination. So elimination is a different method, and it's really well suited for if the x's and y's are lined up, they're on the same side. And you can add or subtract your equations, and one of your variables will disappear. As I look through here, I need to see what my coefficients are and see if they match. You want the ones You want to look at the ones that match and do whatever operation is going to make them disappear. So I see I got negative 2 and 2. Well, if I subtract them, I would get negative 4x. You don't want that. You want it to be 0, so we're going to add instead. And since negative 2 plus 2 is 0, that's what we're going to do. You have to do that for all 3 columns. So I'm going to add here as well. So that makes 0x, which we're not going to use anymore. Negative 4 plus 5 is just 1. And then on the right side, 26 plus negative 30 is going to give you negative 4. You can divide by this 1 here. It doesn't do anything. Wait, I'll just put it to humor people. Yeah, we got y is negative 4. Hooray! We got our y value. So the thing with elimination, usually getting the first one's the easy part. Getting the other number is a little bit harder. You got to take this number and you got to put it into one of your equations. You can put it in either of them, or yeah, just put in either of them. You got to choose. I kind of like the top one here because I feel like it. You could put it in the bottom one though. So I'm going to write out my first equation, and I'm going to replace y in parentheses with negative 4 because that's what y is equal to. Now I'm going to simplify my equation. C plus 16 equals 26. Let's subtract off that 6. Subtract off the 16. Now I got negative 2x equals 10. And divide both sides by that negative 2. And now I got x equals negative 5. So I got my x value. I got my x value. I got my y value. So now I can write my point. The point is negative 5, negative 4. Remember, x goes first, y goes second. Sorry about the alarm. All right, let's jump to our last problem here. Again, you want to do whatever operation is going to get rid of a variable. These don't have the same numbers, but these do, right? Both of the numbers are 1. Well, if I were to add these, I would get 2y. You don't want that. You want 0y. So instead of adding these, I'm going to subtract. And since I'm going to subtract to get rid of my y's, you get 0y. You get to subtract on all 3 columns. So 4 minus negative 3. Be very careful with your signs. Use a calculator if you need to. Remember, minus and negative is the same thing as add positive. So that's going to turn into 7x. And the right side, negative 4 minus 3 is getting more negative. It's going to make it negative 7. So I got this equation here, 7x equals negative 7. So I can finish solving just by dividing by 7. And I got x is negative 1. Hooray, we got our number. But now we got to take this and plug it into one of our equations. You can put it in the bottom one. You can put it in the top one. Let's put it in the bottom one this time because we can. So that's going to make this negative 3 times negative 1. And then we got plus y equals 3. Well, negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. And I can finish solving just by subtracting 3 because the number in front of y is just 1. And now we got 0. Oh, y is just 0, but that's okay. We got x is negative 1, y is 0, so we get the point negative 1, 0. It goes like that. And voila, we got our answer. So there you go. That's level 2 system.